You're listening to Hashtag No Filter with Zack Peter. That's me, your naturally platinum blonde pop culture connoisseur. I'm the reality TV junkie, self-improvement addict, and host with only the hottest tea spilled fresh weekly. For more hot takes, go and give me a follow at Just Plain Zack. I always keep it funny, and I always keep it cute. And if you're like me and you want to stay up to date with the latest reality tea, just go and give us a follow at No Filter with Zack on the Instagram, or you can always join our private Facebook group. The link is in the description below. I hope you have snagged some fizzy Housewives-inspired rosé for yourself. Packing a punch at 14% alcohol by volume, but less than a gram of sugar. You can head over to nofilterwine.com to stock up. I have 4 fun designs inspired by Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, New York, New Jersey, and Atlanta. And I'm so excited to announce that we've officially sold out of our Drag Me Potomac cans just in time for the reunion. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, mean it. I would love to give you kisses and hugs and all of the licks all around just to say how grateful I am for all the support that you've shown No Filter Wine. You can stock up on the 4 OG cans for any of your Bravo obsessed besties that you want to shop for Christmas. nofilterwine.com. Very quickly, this Tuesday, we're back with Book Club. We're reading Dave Quinn's book, Not All Diamonds and Rosé. We'll be breaking down part 4, which is Real Housewives of New Jersey. We've already broken down Atlanta, New York, and OC, and now we have Joyzy in the house, so get ready. Make sure your pages are read for part 4 of Diamonds and Rosé, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern on the Instagram at No Filter with Zack. Also, this Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a brow tutorial. I've got my guy Marco from EcoBrow. You've been asking for it, and we're going to do my brows live on the Instagram at Just Plain Zack. So make sure you give us a follow. Give me a follow, actually. And you'll see it happen this Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific. And then merch goes on sale this Thursday. All new merch available at justplainzack.com. Get ready. It's really cute. You're going to look hot for the summer, and we're just going to be hot bitches. All right. Get ready, because today's guest always has very hot takes, and I love listening to her podcast because her dives go so deep into all things entertainment, reality TV, and not just pop culture, but like culture. Like, she has really good conversations that are about entertainment. And she has really impressive guests on the show. She always blows me away. So please welcome the host of Hot Takes and Deep Dives, Miss Jess Rothschild.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, boo?
I'm good. What's going on?
Life. You know life.
Yeah. You had quite a day.
I had quite a weekend. But It's a new week. Today's Monday. It's a new week. We're living our best life. And yeah,
talked you off a few ledges.
Talked me off a few ledges, and now I'm back with my broken tailbone. How have you been? It's been a while since we've done a podcast. I mean, we talk every day, but it's been a minute since we've podcasted.
I think the listeners need to know that we speak multiple times a day via voice memo and text, multiple times a day. I mean, it's probably altogether an hour a day. Yeah. We're communicating.
Yeah. It's funny how people see podcast friends, and some of my podcast friends are just that, podcast friends, but people like you and Jacques. We literally talk every single day because there's always news that's breaking. There's always a trailer that's dropping. There's always personal life that's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it would be nice for people to know that, a lot of these friendships, they do extend into personal friendships, dating, love, sex, where we're moving, where we're living, things like that. So
when are you coming to LA? When are we going to have a real gangbang?
Honey, do you not remember that I was in?
Okay.
No. I was in LA the day that you interviewed Lala Kent, which made it onto Vanderpump Rules. And you were like, yeah, I can't today. I was like, okay, well, I just flew across the country and this is where I'm here. So, okay.
To clarify, it was the day after, and I was so sick. I literally got up that morning, got full glammed up because I had to do a photo shoot that morning and then tape Lala at 11 a.m. And then after that, I was just dead. And then I woke up the next morning, which is when we planned to hang out. I think I told you that I just interviewed Lala, but it was the day before. But I was so sick. I couldn't even get out of bed. And I'm the bitch that will go to work with the full on feet. Well, pre-2020 will go and push and hustle. I'm Lisa Rinna. You get on a plane. If you're dying, you pump yourself with drugs and you do the job. So that's how you know I was legit dead in bed.
Right. So I think at this point you owe me a trip across the country.
But you did go and hang out with Ryan Bailey that week or that day.
Yes, I had dinner that night. I had dinner with Ryan, Jamie Stein, who I love, and Laura from Sexy Unique podcast. I'm close with the three of them.
Also, to clarify, I was not invited to that dinner. I was invited to coffee earlier in the day. I just want to clarify that for the story. I was not invited to the Ryan Bailey dinner. I'm actually not going to say anything about Ryan Bailey because I don't want to get in another. I don't want to get another feud.
Oh my God. Well, this was still COVID time, so I don't know that we were looking for like a dinner for 6.
Yeah, a whole big party. Well, that was the max, so you could have squeezed me in there. Six heads was the max.
And we're both small people, so we probably could have shared a little space.
How do you like LA versus New York? Guys, we will get into all the tea of Real Housewives and Winter House and Pump Rules and OC, but I just, Jess and I want to catch up for you.
How do I love LA versus New York? I used to really love LA. Like there was a period of time, maybe like 12 years ago where I was going to LA like 5 times a year because a lot of my friends had moved from New York to LA. Like a lot of them like they were pursuing careers in acting and they moved there. And I felt a little like, I guess this is the next chapter. Like my whole circle was kind of dissipating and I couldn't get a job there. Like I work full time in tech and I wasn't going to move without a full-time job already in place. And then eventually a few years after that, I wound up meeting somebody who was in a very, very long-term relationship. So that having been said, this was my most recent time in LA in many years. And granted, it was like deep in like COVID time, this was like April or May. And I think I'm just not cut out for such a heavy driving culture. But I want to ask you, so all the times that I've been to LA, I've actually only been to downtown LA only one time. So most of my time has been spent in West Hollywood or like Silver Lake.
See, I don't fuck with West Hollywood. And Silver Lake's too trendy for me.
Can you explain why? Like, I want you to sell me on downtown LA.
Well, downtown LA is hard to sell anybody on. I feel like the only people that really love LA are somebody that like maybe has come from New York that still kind of wants that city vibe, but like wants the mish of LA. Like this is the closest you'll get to like a New York or a downtown Chicago is downtown LA. I grew up in LA and I remember when like people did not fuck with downtown. Like you didn't go there because it was nothing but like drug addicts and homeless people and you were going to get mugged and you were going to die. So you went to downtown only for work, only if you had to, but there was no fun, there was no leisure, there was no nightlife. I would say maybe in the last 10 years, all of that has kind of changed and downtown's had this bit of a renaissance moment where we have a lot of new apartment buildings, we have rooftop bars, we have rooftop restaurants, all these new hotels are opening up. We just had like the Proper open up down the street from me. So we have all of these like nice places to go now, trendy underground clubs.
It seems like it's all like new construction.
It's all new construction, or what they've done too is flipped some of the old buildings. So like they have like this really cool club that's not too far, underground club that's not too far from me that used to be a bank. So, or they had the Nomad Hotel that was also a bank. So it was really cool because you have the hotel on top, but then you have to go to the bathroom. So you go underground.
By the way, can I just say something? It's hilarious to me that the Nomad Hotel. Do you know why it's called the Nomad Hotel?
No. Is it a brothel?
No. The Nomad is a neighborhood in the city, in New York City. And it's the Nomad Hotel. And then all of a sudden it opened up in Vegas and LA. Yeah. And I found that to be so hilarious. It would be as if like you had a place called the West Village Hotel in LA. It's like, what?
Yeah, no, that is funny. It's actually it just closed. They closed it in COVID and they never reopened, which was so sad because it was such a pretty building because so the restrooms were underground. So you had to go down and then it was like this big vault that you had, a bank vault that you had to walk through in order to go and pee. So it was just like, it was so fun to see them flip those old buildings and keep some of like the architecture. And that I enjoy that.
Tell me why you say you don't fuck with West Hollywood.
It is way too pretentious. It's way too, like, I like fancy shit, but for me, West Hollywood is just, it's too overdone. Like, to me, I don't like going, like, I'll go to the Abbey, which is like the popular, like the hot spot in West Hollywood. It's like the gay bar that everyone goes to. It's not even gay anymore. All straight people go there, and that's where they go and hang out. But like, it's so interesting because I went out recently to West Hollywood with a friend of mine. She's dating this guy, and he was one of the bartenders at one of the spots there. So we went specifically for that, and then I think we went to, I forgot where we went afterwards. But like, you don't really get hit on in bars. Like, you go to gay bars and you don't even really get hit on there, because I feel like everybody is so, like, people in LA are so like in their own head, and so I don't know, I just don't like that vibe. Like, in New York, you can go out to a bar and you can get hit on and you can take somebody home, or you can start dating. Like, it's just so easy in New York because people are so straightforward with their intentions. But I feel like in LA, especially in like the popular or the trendy spots like West Hollywood, or even I guess Silver Lake and Echo Park and Highland Park, those are like areas that have come up and they're a little more trendy. But I don't know. I don't fuck with West Hollywood. It's too pretentious. It's too over the top. It's too scene-y. I guess that's what it is. There's like, it's a scene there. And that's what I hate about LA. And I think that's the reputation LA gets, is being part of like this scene, and it's who you know. And, you know, it's just, I don't fuck with that energy.
Have you been to New York much at all?
I've been to New York pretty often, yeah. In pre-2020, I would go there pretty often. I love New York.
Oh, awesome. All right, cool. So next we'll hang out in New York.
You'll take me to some spots in New York.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's so funny because I feel like when I go to New York, I'm like, let me go and do like a Soho moment. Like, I feel like I go to the West Hollywood equivalents in New York, whereas in LA, I don't fuck with it. I love the New York scene, but I don't love being part of the LA scene. But I'm also like not somebody that really like goes out. You know what I mean? Like, I stay home on a Friday night, or I spend the weekend with my family. Like, I'm just not into like clubbing and bar hopping or any of that either, which is probably why I feel like that's all the Santa Monica Strip in West Hollywood it's so, the nightlife is so popping out there. And not that the nightlife's not popping here in downtown, but like in downtown, you can go have a nice drink on a rooftop, go to dinner, and then come home and crash. And like, that's, I cool
love
with that vibe.
Yeah. No, you and I are very similar in that way. Yeah, you and I are very similar in that way.
I feel like I'm so much more boring than people expect me to be. And I really am. Like, I literally will just sit home and pour myself a drink and watch the neighbors across the street. That's a good night for me.
I have a quick question for you, and maybe your listeners don't know, so I'll like I've been wondering this for a while. So you know how you've published
Jess,
4 books?
I'm gay, yes. That's what everyone's been wondering.
Been wondering
I haven't officially come out
time.
On the show. I haven't officially come out on the show, so this is the moment.
You know how you have 4 books?
Yeah.
You've written 4 books?
Yeah.
How do you, because you're already quite young and you wrote these years ago, how did that happen?
That's actually a great question. I don't talk about any of like my past or my career history or anything on the show really, because it's mostly just like the tea that we spill every week. But so my first book came about, I was in high school. I wrote it when I think I was like 15. And my brother was diagnosed with autism, and I was starting to do a lot of community activism work here in LA. Just because I saw him as, he and my brother Elijah were only a year apart, but I saw how opportunities for Elijah were so much different than they were for Ethan. Like just playing sports, like coaches didn't want Ethan on the team because that's just too much for them to handle. So my mom would often become a coach of the baseball team. That way she could have both boys be able to play and participate. And so I was like, well, I want to do stuff like that. And so I would start to organize events that helped, you know, create an inclusive environment for kids with special needs like my brother, because I saw it happening all too often. And so from there, at one of these events, I ended up meeting with this woman who had just written a book about her experience with her son. And she's like, nobody's really talking about what it's like to be a brother or a sister of somebody with special needs. Everyone's a mom writing a book, and now dads think, you know, they're having a moment of writing books. So like, why don't you write a book? And I was like, I'm in like 9th or 10th grade. Like, I can't even get an A on an English essay. Like, how the fuck am I going to write a book? And then my mom's like, well, why not just do it? And I loved my mom for that, because she's always kind of just been like, well, why not? Like, just do it. And so I was like, okay. And so I just sat at a computer and I started writing. And through this woman, she was able to help me kind of navigate the world of publishing and helped me get that book released. And so that came out.
How did you get a publisher? Like, I know that's
So it was a very small, first it was self-published, and then it was a very small publisher that ended up going and publishing it afterwards. So that first book came out twice. And then from there, I self-published book 2 and 3. And then my fourth book also signed with a small publisher that eventually got bought by Simon & Schuster. So that fourth book is now with Simon & Schuster, which is nice to say that I'm a published author and, you know.
Yeah.
I have like a real publisher, but that book, the last book was written and published back in 2014. So it's been a minute since I've written a book. I've wanted to write another one. I wouldn't go the self-publishing route again, only because it's a lot, you know, and you know, I want to feel like a bad bitch that has a Simon & Schuster part 2 under my belt.
Yeah.
And I feel like
I want to thank you in the acknowledgments.
Yes.
For my love and support.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, that's how, I mean, yeah, the book's kind of, the first one came out and then I really loved the process of it. I loved writing. I loved the impact of it. I loved, you know, that people responded really well to it. So then I just kind of fell in love with writing books and I just kept doing it throughout high school and college. And then eventually I fell into doing stand-up for a couple of years and then the opportunity.
You did stand-up?
Yeah.
Wait, do you have videos of this?
I'm pretty sure there is some old grainy iPhone footage. I know that some of the clubs or some of the organizers filmed some of the events. I don't know where that footage exists, but I know there is footage that exists somewhere.
You should dig that up and put it on YouTube.
I would love to. I don't even know where to contact any of those people. No, it's not like it's not. Some of it was good, but some of it was really bad. Stand-up.
No, I want it. I don't care if it's terrible.
Stand-up is pretty brutal.
This is a headline. This is a headline, Zach.
I loved
stand-up. That's a headline.
I loved it. I mean, and I did like the Laugh Factory, the Comedy Store, Gotham in New York, Ice House in Pasadena. Like
you played Gotham Comedy Club in New York?
I did Gotham Comedy Club. Yep.
That's so close to me.
I'll send you photos from when. I mean, I don't know if there's any footage from Gotham, but because I only did it once. But it was, yeah, it was a
final question on the Zack Peter personal essay note. Yeah, on the Zack Peter interview. Exclusive. How long are you going to rock the bleach blonde? Because you've been rocking this for a while, and we all know. Well, I know you say you're naturally platinum blonde, but we've all seen the photos that you are in fact a brunette.
Well, my hair's black.
Do you have a game plan?
My hair is like jet black. It's for all the stand-up photos. I think I've posted some of them. All of them, though, have my black hair. But, I mean, I'm going to rock it as long as I can. I mean, at least another couple of years. It's been 4 years. You know, people like when I kind of rock the two-tone, which, like, right now the roots are really grown out. I like rocking the roots. My hair is so dark, thick, and black that the bleaching process is so intense. It's like 7 hours of just bleach and toner and heat and lifting, and it's such a grueling process.
Do you know anybody? Do you know any guys who have had hair transplants?
No, I'm not that old, Jess. Shit.
I know. I know. So you would be surprised. First of all, every male celebrity has had a hair transplant.
Oh, yeah.
Aside from that, there are guys in my life who I know people who have had 3 hair transplants.
Really?
We're going to talk offline.
I would love to. Why? Are you saying I'm losing my hair?
No, the opposite.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you something when we're done.
Okay. I can't wait. Okay. So let's talk. There's a rumor, like Teresa Giudice would say, that RHONY, Real Housewives of New York, isn't going to be returning until 2023. I don't know how legit this rumor is. Where was
this published?
I saw it on Reality Blurb, but I don't know where it originated from. Let me see if I can pull this up. I literally just saw it right before we started filming.
Well, did you see Brian Moylan's article yesterday published
I did.
On NBC News?
Was it published on NBC? No, it was published.
Yes.
I thought it was published
it's
somewhere
NBC.
else. It was NBC?
It's NBC.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe you.
So it was basically like the housewives problem and like why they need to completely clean house. Everyone should check out that article.
Oh, this is where it started from. Hold on. This is where it started from. Was Anthony Dominic tweeted it. But Anthony Dominic doesn't always have the most reliable tea. And that's no shade. Please don't drag me into a feud. People love to pit me in feuds these days. But sometimes, you know, I don't know if he's he used to be on TMZ. So he has some connections. But like, I don't know how legit of a rumor that is. Because, like, I would imagine maybe they start production over the summer next year. They film for 4 months. So then it would make sense that it wouldn't come back until 2023. You know, they're going to take their time with casting and production and all that. So that would make sense. But I would assume production would begin in 2022.
Personally, okay, my take on this, I think this is a good thing. I think that there's too much. I think that it's like housewife overload. I think it's good. Let people miss something. Like, I don't like when there are so many housewives shows on simultaneously, like how on Sunday nights they're airing Salt Lake City and Potomac back to back. It's like too much for people. And believe it or not, there used to be a time where there'd be like only 2 housewives shows going in any particular cycle. I feel like some cities are rushed out. Like I personally feel like they keep pumping out Potomac. Is it me? I feel like there are 2 seasons a year of Potomac. That may not actually be true, but it feels that way.
I think that the issue that we've run into is that, like, in COVID times, we had nothing to watch. So we had all of these shows that were going back to back that, like, it was enjoyable for us to watch multiple housewives per week, you know? And so we kind of got used to this overload of content. And 2, I think Bravo has just continued to greenlight more cities and more franchises. And like, that's also, you know, to me, I'm just like, at some point we need to either like substitute some cities for other cities and maybe like take a longer break. Like, if we're going to add in Salt Lake City and Potomac, then maybe we ice New York and Atlanta for a minute. You know what I mean? Because when we constantly bump out all of these shows every year, it does become a bit like jammed with the backlog of content that we have. And I feel like we've been able to come up with some other non-housewives shows that have done really well on the network too.
That's what I was going to say. I know we're going to get into like Winter House and Vanderpump, but to sort of like weave that in, I find it to be so refreshing. Listen, this isn't prestige television.
Yeah.
Like, we're not watching The Sopranos here.
Yeah.
But I don't want to watch more Housewives. Like, I'm done. Like, I loved Beverly Hills this season.
Great.
I'm sort of enjoying Salt Lake City. Like, the Shaw rest, like, really compelling, like actually possibly prestige television. But I like a Winter House. I love Summer House. I love Vanderpump in the day. That was like the best show on television for years. And I know that there's like Below Deck, but like Below Deck's really for the straight people. So maybe I've been told to get into Below Deck. I know that there's like alternate programming.
People are telling me I have to watch Below Deck, which is even doing like way better in the ratings than New York was doing. It's so, I mean, to me, there's no desire to watch Below Deck, but so many people have told me that I have to watch Below Deck that I'm just like, okay, do I just oblige and
Jamie Stein, who would love, he loves Below. He's like, you got to watch Below Deck. I'm like, all right, maybe. Yeah. Okay. No, like I will. It's on my list.
But to piggyback off of like what we were saying about like Housewives jamming too many, because like you said, like Potomac, it felt like we had 2 seasons in this past year. I also feel like there's a time and a place to pick up production immediately after. Like in Real Housewives of New Jersey, when there was all the Teresa, Melissa drama, family drama that was so intense at the beginning, like in seasons 3, 4, and 5, I understood why at the end of the season, there was still so much drama and tension between the family that they needed to pick up production filming immediately right after. Or even right now with like Erica's legal stuff, I can understand the need within the current group, but I think what was happening was they were like, oh, this season didn't work, so let's get rid of these people, bring in 2 new people, and then just start filming next week and hope that they mesh without giving it time to really make a cast a group of friends. I thought Brian Moylan's interview, or not his interview, his article was really good because it talked about how the shows have evolved from being genuine groups of friends to now like
he had a great line in there saying they clearly don't care who they cast so long as they can go toe to toe with Ramona or whoever, which is true.
Which is why they brought in Leah, who, you know, has viewpoints that differ Ramona. She's a lot younger than Ramona. Obviously, they know the history that the OGs get a little threatened and tend to ice out the newbies. So they needed somebody that would really challenge Ramona. And I think Leah was able to kind of do that. So I think, you know, it was a really great point that he made. And even Kate Casey in her Facebook group made a really good point of like, it feels like the shows are now Survivor, you know, of who can make it to who can be the most dynamic in order to make it to the next season.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's a good thing. Like, let people miss it. Jersey does that really well. I feel like I'm only subjected to one Jersey season a year. Like, I'm talking about the way it feels. You know, I don't feel like it's Jersey overload constantly. And I think that's a great thing. Like, let people, it's nice to miss something and then you can get really psyched when it's back. And I think that there's enough alternative programming that like, let New York chill out and then we'll be into it.
I also think it would be smart for the network. That way the network isn't so heavily reliant and dependent on Real Housewives. You know what I mean? They can test out other programs and find the next Vanderpump Rules to be able to build. That way, it's not just a network of 8 different Real Housewives franchises.
Yeah. I also think having the All-Stars, like the two All-Stars that have already been filmed, I think also having those will satiate the people who want another. At least these are limited series. We don't have to like drag it out for 20 episodes. I'm sure they'll do a reunion, but I think that's great alternative programming as well.
I agree. It was funny. Andy was just on Wendy Williams. I think Jerry O'Connell was the guest host. He was on.
Oh no, Michael Rappaport. I watched it. Yeah.
Wendy's. So what are we doing with Wendy? We're just filling in, you know, these other guest slots until Wendy.
Here's what's interesting. So yeah, she's sick. She
done,
has. Yeah. Well, no. I would no. She's not done.
I thought she was done with the show. I thought they were done with her.
No.
Oh
no, she has like an immune disorder.
Okay.
I think she has Graves' disease, I think.
Oh no.
So they're having rotating hosts, and apparently these guest host
are doing better, right?
Are doing better than with Wendy, which is strange. Like Wendy is such a I love Wendy, but like she's such, I mean, that is like must see, like, you know, daytime TV.
Yeah.
But okay, go. What were you gonna say about Andy?
Oh, that he was there promoting Ultimate Girls Trip, but he's like, but wait until you see season 2 of All Stars, where he like, which is kind of how we all feel. Like, okay, yeah, All Stars. I will say though, the All Stars teaser that we got over this past week was actually thoroughly enjoyable. I was very entertained. They released like the first 2 episodes of it, where they're like getting ready to leave on the trip.
Oh. Yeah. When Teresa's like, Melissa's not an OG.
Yeah, Melissa's not an OG, just saying. I was thoroughly entertained by it. I guess because you are bringing the strongest, I mean, minus Cynthia Bailey, you're bringing the strongest from each show, and you're kind of putting them on this island. I was really...
Wait, can we talk about how Ramona broke her wrist the other day, and she couldn't go to LA to do all of this Peacock promo? She literally has her arm in a sling. It's constant chaos with her. But
how does that prevent you from getting on a plane to
Because she doesn't know if she's going to have surgery or not.
Oh, that's the whole
She did a whole Instagram story about it.
That's so crazy. Do you think that maybe it's not even so much the surgery part, but more of just like the hounding that she's going to get in the press, considering she's such like a polarizing person right now?
No, I think it's that. I know. I think her doctor was like, you can't fly. Like, I mean, I won't get into it, but you can't fly when you have a potential, like the swelling. It could be really, really bad. But They're all going to be on Watch What Happens Live. They're all going to be back in New York on Tuesday to do a big Watch What Happens Live with all of them.
That'll
Not
be
that
fun.
Andy's going to be like, so Ramona, these racist allegations.
Yeah, I just oh, Ramona, she's really, I mean, but the thing is,
wait, can I tell you something else about Ramona?
tell me.
So this is I don't know if anybody cares about this, but it's interesting. Last night, a friend of mine who's like he exploded during the pandemic as like a fitness trainer. He goes by the name Isaac Boots. He's in with like Lisa Rinna and Ramona, like he's trained all of them. And anyway, he got engaged last night to his boyfriend. Ramona was at the celebration dinner.
What?
Yes.
I feel like so many people still love her. And it's only the people on Twitter that really don't like her. But
he's not the type to like invite a race.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's ethnic.
Yeah.
So that's just food for thought. She was at a gay engagement celebration dinner last night. I'm just throwing it out there as information.
Yeah, and I know
You're stunned.
I'm not. I mean, I am, but I'm also not though, because I feel like I know people that know Ramona behind the scenes, and I think she's like dumb and an idiot in the sense that she just doesn't think things through before she like does and says something. But I don't think at her heart she's a terrible person, and that's by what I know from people that actually know her and are friends with her, and like still, know what really happened behind the scenes with the whole investigation with Bravo and all of that stuff. And that's, I think, part of the reason a lot of people still protect her is because the Ramona we don't see on camera is different from the Ramona we do get, And the thing is, it's like once you're somebody like Ramona that's so polarizing, it's like Brandi Glanville. It's very easy to have the longevity of the headlines because you know that it's always going to get people fired up. Same thing with like a Kelly Dodd. You know that no matter how not simple or innocuous, but no matter how small the infraction is, it will become so much grander because of the person that is, saying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because of the reaction people will give you for that. But Ramona is very interesting. I'm surprised they didn't bring in like Lisa Rinna to tape All Stars with Kyle. Like they only threw in Kyle from Beverly Hills.
Oh, I don't know.
I would have loved Lisa Rinna to, or I would have loved, like, who else is on the show?
Well, she would have been fun because she would have brought drama. She would have stirred shit up.
Yeah, she would have.
I mean, but let's wait and see. Let's watch this thing, and then like we can figure out who we would have cast. I mean, this is not the cast I would put together.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, no. What? But like a true All Stars, we would want like Bethany and Nene and, like the real OGs, like a Cynthia. Like Kenya's good, but like Cynthia's.
I still would have wanted Jill Zarin. I want Jill Zarin on every Housewives.
You love Jill Zarin. I don't know what it is with Jill Zarin, but you really
no. Can I tell you? I legitimately want to do an episode, and sometimes I have the name of my episodes before. Sometimes I'll think of like a concept, and I'm like, this is the name of the episode, and then I like find somebody. The name of the episode. This doesn't exist. The name of the episode is Jill Zarin Appreciation Hour.
Do we really need an hour to appreciate Jill Zarin, though?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
My friend is down to do it. He loves Jill.
Why don't you do it?
No, we are doing it.
Oh, you are doing it. It is happening.
Yes. No, we won't. It's written down. We're going to do it. It's by the end of 2021. You can listen to it.
I will listen to it.
But right now, all I have is the title.
And see if I get sold on Jill Zarin. I can't wait. Andy said that part 2 of All Stars is like epic. I don't know if they've begun to edit it yet or anything. I hear it comes out in March, and the rumors about it coming out next summer are false, which is good because we can't wait until next summer to get that show.
I want to know what the next one. If they were able to churn these out so fast back to back, what's the next one?
Well, let's take a beat. Let's not rush it like we're here complaining about them rushing the Housewives seasons. Let's get through the first one. Let's get through the second one. And then let's plan the third one.
Do you think, because it is now, we're coming into, well, okay, Winter House they shot last March. So I'm curious to see if they're going to do another Winter House.
Well, the ratings for Winter House have been good, right?
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna do it. Like, why wouldn't they do
But
it?
like we can get rid of some of these people on Winter House. What's the girl? Julia, is that her name?
Oh my God.
I can't
Why is she
stand
there
Julia.
at all?
I don't like Julia. I can't stand Julia. We haven't really seen much of the new guys, minus what's his name? The Italian. That's all anybody knows him as, is the Italian.
Yeah.
He's probably the most camera time we've given the guys for the newbies.
I would be interested in getting to know Jason, but the show doesn't give a shit about
That's what I
him
mean. Jason,
at
yeah,
all.
Jason doesn't have. That's what I mean, because it's Jason and the Italian, and then we have Austin and Craig. Austin's getting a lot of camera time. We don't really see much of Craig. I liked how they're trying to like give us Craig and Paige, even though we know there's not going to be a Craig and Paige in Winter House because they didn't get together until after production had ended.
This is the most I've liked Paige. Like, without the weight of Hannah and Perry, the boyfriend, I feel like she gives such great confessionals. Like, I find her also to be so vulnerable, like especially this past
Very
week's
vulnerable,
episode.
yeah.
This is the most I've enjoyed her on television, period. What else was I gonna say? Austin, does he dress terribly, or is that just me?
I don't think he dresses terribly.
He's always like in a vest. I don't understand his style or what his like vibe is.
I mean, it's very
like Craig I'm into. Craig like has I don't know. I don't like Austin. Like, he's too pasty. He's
like
not my type.
Austin. I would bang Austin. I
know
Austin.
You would.
He's the worst. He's so terrible though. He really is. I think I was blowing up your phone the other night as I was watching it live in real time.
No, the one of the best texts I've gotten in a while from you. I was literally sleeping. The text is all caps, men are awful. Next text, is Luke gay or what? Which is so funny because I swear to God, that thought flew through my brain. As I was watching this week's episode, I was like, he is so strange. Like, but he is also too dumb to be gay. Like, I don't know what his story is, but it's weird. If you put this plus the summer house behavior where like he clearly wasn't interested in Hannah. He's like not really. He's only interested in people who he knows would not be interested in him.
Which is why I think he's gay.
Which is every gay guy in high school.
Thank you. I think Luke is just a late bloomer because I'm like, he is clearly developing these intimate emotional connections with these women. However, he's not interested in having sex with them, and he's not interested in being in a relationship with them, but yet they're clearly beautiful, talented, charismatic, very, entertaining, like personality-wise women.
And he did something, you know how Sierra was brought into Summer House via Luke?
Yeah.
And she said that when they dated, like he did something strange in bed or they talked about it on the show. And
he brought a dude. Yeah. That's what he did.
Yeah, he brought a dude. I mean, we're really starting.
We're really
starting. What was the rumor? Oh, the rumor was that Andy's fired and they're looking for.
Yeah.
And I told you that when we recorded this, I wanted to start the rumor that Bethany is starting Skinny Girl diapers, and that we could literally start that rumor and people would believe it because people will believe fucking anything.
So to give context to this, we were having a conversation about similar to the Anthony Dominic tweet about RHONY not coming back until 2023, how easy it is for certain media outlets to pick up on things that podcasters say, because I've been dragged into this too. Outside, like the current trend is to pit me in feuds with people. But prior to that, it was, picking up things that I would say on my podcast and then making them into headlines, which is what they do often. And so I think there are podcasters and YouTubers that have learned to capitalize off of that. So they start these outlandish rumors that have no real merit or basis to them. And it's very, Inquirer of them because I went to visit my grandfather in the hospital yesterday and he had his Inquirer magazine and I'm literally flipping through it and I'm like, this is literally all of the trash blogs that exist right now that have these types of headlines with no real merit or basis to it. And you know, and so one of the current rumors that Jess and I were talking about was that Andy Cohen has been fired from the network and they're canceling Watch What Happens Live, and how there's no truth to that rumor. At least there, yeah. Could it be true? Could it be, are the ratings for Watch What Happens Live dwindling? Yes. Does that mean Andy Cohen is completely going to be iced out of Bravo? He literally just got a book published called, you know, Not All Diamonds and Rose. That's the expose about Real Housewives. Like, he's bringing them money. They're not going to be cutting him loose anytime soon. But
question for you. This is just like a sidebar to this, and then we're going to get back to the rumors. Suppose Andy, 3 years from now, 3 to 5 years from now, Andy has another child and decides, I don't need the talk show anymore. He's like, I just want to do the radio and write books. And who do you predict would replace Andy on an evening sort of wrap up version of Watch What Happens Live?
I've always said that they could bring in like a Danny Pellegrino. I think it has to be somebody young. It has to be somebody gay, or at least somebody of that culture that can fill that seat, that is, you know, charismatic, but not messy, that knows how to play the game. You know what I mean? Like, Andy's very good at playing the politics game. He's very good at, you know, getting what we need for the drama and the tea, but also staying very neutral with everything.
I really think, unless they bring somebody that's already inside Bravo, like another producer,
no, I don't think that was like lightning in a bottle. There's no way. There's no way there'll be another Andy that they bring in from the network.
I think Danny is the perfect choice because he already has relationships. He's already beloved.
Already has an audience. Already has that world in the palm of his hand. Yeah. I don't know Danny.
And he's great. And he's so likable. Like, he's so likable. He would be the one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I would love to. I think he would be, and I've said this for years. I think we've probably discussed it before. I've said for years, I think Danny would be the perfect person to fill that seat. He's younger. He's, you know, got the energy that Andy doesn't have. Like, you can tell Andy at these reunions. I mean, I think the Beverly Hills reunion was juicy, that was exciting for him because of the Erica stuff. And then the Potomac reunion was exciting for him because of Nicki Minaj participating in it. But I feel like you can just see this fatigue in him of like, I'm a dad now. I have other things going on in my life, that he doesn't really need to do it anymore. And I think the ego has already been fulfilled for the most part. Obviously, we know somebody with an ego enough to have their own talk show. It's never going to be fully satiated. But I think for him, you know, he knows that he'll still be in the public and he'll still get that adoration without having to work every single day filming a talk show.
Yeah.
And doing reunions.
Yeah. That's that.
I think he's reaching retirement soon. I could see it in 3 years, but it's not because some person on the internet started the rumor.
But yeah, people believe anything. I mean, I have a thread, like a text thread with 3 friends who like watch everything Bravo. They're not, you know, they're just fans. Like, they don't have podcasts or anything. And they send me all this shit. Like, they're like, oh my God, did you see this? But they're not really to me. I'm just part of it. And I'm always like, that's not true. That's not true. That's a rumor. That's not true. But they believe it. Like,
yeah,
even like people are just getting this stuff. And I'm like,
yeah, no, I
believe it.
I get caught up in it all the time because sometimes I say things, and that's where I've like had to be like, I'm clarifying. This is a rumor that I've heard. This is where I have a real source. This is my opinion, because I know like I said that Tamara was coming back to OC, which was a real thing. Like she had a contract. Like, it was actually a real thing that she was going to be filming for the new season of OC, but it was before they went into production. Then obviously production began, and I don't think she ended up actually filming for the new season of OC.
No,
like, it just didn't end up happening, but she ended up getting the All-Stars.
Tamara was just on Jeff Lewis's show.
Yeah.
Which I love, by the way. That's like a great radio show. Tamara was on and she was like, yeah, I really want to film, but then it just like didn't happen. Like it just wasn't.
It was supposed to happen. And I revealed that it was supposed to happen. And then, you know, people will come and be like, oh, well, remember. And then it blew up when I said it. And then people were like, oh, see, you don't have good tea because you told us a lie that one time. I'm like, it wasn't a lie. It was just something that happened to be true at that moment that never came to fruition because it was in pre-production. And then we got into production. It just didn't make sense after all. I think they would have brought her in had there been a struggle to mesh the cast because Tamara has history with the women on the cast currently, and Heather was kind of Tamara would be the perfect glue to kind of mend them all together, but they didn't need Tamara after all. And a lot of the times they have other people just sitting on ice for when they need to activate that while production is going on. Brandi Glanville was perfect at that, which is why she did so many cameos throughout the years, because she was the perfect person to plug in when they needed her.
Right.
But yeah.
Did you watch the Watch What Happens Live with the Winter House people? They had Hubbard. Oh, you didn't?
I don't really watch What Happens Live that much anymore, to be honest. Unless there's somebody on there that's really... See, I'm not watching, and now all the ratings are going, and it's my fault Andy Cohen's been fired from the network. Headline tomorrow.
Yeah. I still really enjoy Watch What Happens Live, and I thought the Winter House episode was interesting because Lindsay was in the audience when Austin was there.
Oh,
and
I did see that. I saw when Austin...
It's stirring up drama, but they... it seems like Luke and Lindsay can't stand Sierra. It seems like Sierra and Paige are like on an island with their boyfriends. Yeah. And although it's really not clear if Sierra and Austin are still together, I can't tell if they're pretending they are on Watch What Happens Live, but they're really not. Well,
I mean, it could have been like a situation like when Hannah and Luke were pretending that they were together when they were doing press to promote Summer House, even though, you know, Luke was sucking production's dick on the side. You
should watch that episode of Watch What Happens Live.
I did. I saw the one with when Lindsay was in the audience. I thought you meant there was like all of the cast was on Watch What Happens Live together.
It was Lindsay, Luke, and Andrea, the Italian.
On the show together?
And yes.
Oh,
watch it.
I don't think I saw that one. I saw the one where Austin... Oh, I'm thinking Austin. I saw the one where Austin was on the show and she was in the crowd and he was saying that he liked Sierra better than he liked her, and then it was like the whole headline thing.
So she kind of like retaliates against
I heard about this then. I heard about her retaliation and they're like, she got back at Austin. Yeah.
I mean, she didn't really. It was just fun. It was just interesting to watch.
I like Lindsay. She's chaotic and she's a hot mess, but she's great television.
This is how much I love her. Like, you know, people like us, like with shows like this, like we can sort of, you know, ask to request to interview anybody. And I'm telling you, in the last year, the only Bravo person that I really wanted to interview, and this is across all housewives, all anybody, the only person who I literally wrote an email saying I would, you know, please, can I interview this person? Lindsay Hubbard. And I did it. But aside from that, like who else? I don't know.
From what? Okay, Winter House or Vanderpump Rules? Are you still watching Vanderpump right now?
Yeah, these are very unpopular opinions. Vanderpump Rules, I'm really enjoying it.
Really?
I got no problem with it.
Why do you think so many people hate it then? Do you think it really is? Do you think we're lacking? See, I like the season. It's not, I don't look forward to it every week, but I also don't look forward to Winter House every week. I feel like I've run into the issue of like, these shows become my job. So sometimes I'm like, I want to watch something that's not this because I have to talk about this and follow this news every day, that like sometimes, you know, I want to watch a Hulu scripted drama. But why do you think so many people are struggling to get behind Vanderpump this season?
I think that they, in their heart of hearts, really miss Stassi.
Yeah.
I really miss Jax and Kristen.
Yeah.
I was never a huge Stassi fan on screen. I never really got her appeal, to be honest. I never found her to be that funny. Like I watched for Jax. Like I loved Jax.
Really?
And I found him to be such a compelling character on television. And the reason I think that I'm really hooked into Vanderpump this season is because I find Brock really watchable as a leading man. The way Jax filled that leading man archetype. I think that Brock has great camera presence. The camera loves him.
Yeah.
Like I like can't take my eyes off this guy, for better or worse. Like he's just, and he brings like a humility in a way that Jax never did. I think they're two totally different entities, but I find I'm happy to watch a season of television, and like his story is interesting. I haven't seen this story before. I don't know. I'm really into it.
Well, Stassi said on her Patreon, I don't know do we call it a podcast? Because it's exclusively on Patreon. It's like a Patreon video situation, but I guess it's a podcast, right?
What's going on that thing?
So she was talking about how behind the scenes, with her and Beau's involvement and Jax's involvement with the cast of Vanderpump Rules, how there is so much more drama that's been going on, that had Bravo actually continued to pick them all up again for this new season, it would have been way more compelling than just the drama that we got currently. That apparently the dynamics, because they are all genuinely friends and they have so much history together. And I think the only reason last season of Vanderpump really lacked was because they tried to introduce and give too much airtime to all these newbies, and we didn't get to focus on the OGs that were the real reason we watched Vanderpump.
I bring them back. I think they will. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
You think Stassi and Jax would come back if they asked them to?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think that they would like do it with, I don't know. That's a really hard question. I think
if you were in that position,
I don't know.
If you were in that position,
I don't know. Maybe not.
If I were in Stassi's position and I were canceled so abruptly and so massively, not just within the network, but just within the news sphere, and then to have the network that you gave so many seasons, because at the end of the day, you could be upset with Stassi for her behavior, but the network enabled her behavior by glorifying her and giving her that platform. And that's ultimately what we watched for. We didn't watch and enjoy Stassi because she was a good girl doing charity work. We watched her because she was this train wreck of a hot mess with this volatile mouth. Mm-hmm. So when the culture encourages that behavior and the network encourages that behavior and continues to promote you, and then all of
they get
rewarded for that bad behavior, and then all of a sudden you go through this reckoning because Twitter's up in arms, and then the network doesn't back you and they fire you and they completely try to cancel you along with it. You really think you would go back to the network that really just didn't have your back and allow you to even release your own statement and kept you under?
I think it comes down to money. I think if they're struggling for money, then yes. I did hear that Jax and Brittany were getting their own Peacock show, like a flipping an Airbnb or something in Kentucky. Did you hear this?
I've heard that they were trying. I never heard that it got greenlit though.
Oh, I don't know that I just heard. I don't. That's
podcaster Jess Rothschild says Jax Taylor has his own show coming to Peacock.
No,
I think Stassi, I mean, she has her new book coming out next year. I think she will be okay. I've always said, I said this even last year after she got fired, she will be okay. I was always worried for Kristen. I was like, she needs to find a rich man to marry real quick.
Didn't she sell her house?
She did sell her house, yes. And I believe she moved in with Alex, her boyfriend.
Okay.
I think that's her long-term strategy right there. That's Alex's her 401k.
Got it. I would love to know the profit she made on the house. Do we have those numbers readily available?
We don't. I'll ask Anthony Dominic. I'll DM him and see if I need to be careful because I shade people and it just always blows up in my face. I like Anthony Dominic. I just want to say I like Anthony. But yeah, I think Vanderpump, it's good, but I think it's missing a big piece of that core. I think it's just going to take time for us to invest in the remaining cast members. You know what I mean?
I mean, I can critique it all day long.
We need please get rid of Charlie and Raquel. Please, I am on my knees begging you, Bravo. They are the worst. You cannot replace Jax, Kristen, and Stassi with Raquel and Charlie, and we need to stop making them happen, please.
I 100% agree with you on that. And I also listen, I can as much as like I'm enjoying it, I can also critique it all day long. I think there's way too much LVP. Like it doesn't even make sense. Lala, I think, is kind of done.
I think she's done because her real friends are off the show. Jax, Brittany, Stassi, Bo, Kristen, those were her real friends. She was never really friends with Ariana and Sheena. Or Tom.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
What do you think of Sheena this season? I kind of enjoy Sheena. I don't love this Sheena versus Lala beef.
I've always enjoyed Sheena. I'm enjoying it. And I've always loved Tom Sandoval despite everyone's hatred for him. Like I'm still into it. Maybe I'm not as like emotionally attached as I was in the past, but it's still very watchable for me. It's not something I would like just completely throw away. And like I don't know, I still care about these people, and to me it's still amusing enough. And okay, let me reframe everything. I'm watching the show for Brock and James Kennedy.
James is great.
Yeah, I should have said that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, James and Brock are great. I love Lala. Lala's probably my favorite on the cast. Like of the well, I like Ariana too, and I like Sheena. I think I love Lala though. Just because.
What did you think of that nose thing with James?
I can't fucking watch Raquel. I can't. She is like Candace on Potomac. I just fast forward through these things because I try, and I know so many people that know her personally, and they're like, she's so funny and she's so charismatic. I'm like, I'm not seeing it on the show. And Charlie, I cannot with Charlie. She is just another like uninteresting person to watch on television. And I'm so fucking irritated with her fake food issues storyline. Because as somebody, and I'm probably going to get shit for this, but I'm leaning into my own truth, as somebody that legitimately struggled with food issues and had to go into treatment for severe bulimia, that still to this day, you know, you're never going to be cured of body issues when you've had that sort of volatile history that I've had with my body and with food. So to see somebody like Charlie, who's really just a picky eater, that's trying to make this into a thing of like, trust me, anybody that's had real legitimate food issues is not going to call up their friends and say, let's have a potluck so I can try different foods so that I feel more comfortable around foods. I was in treatment with people. I literally had a fucking meltdown when they wanted me to eat a cookie because it was out of my control. You know what I mean? I have witnessed people that have real food issues have meltdowns like that because it's so much deeper than just the food. So to see her exploit something like that and make it seem like she is doing that, like I'm not trying to take away from her upbringing or whatever volatile relationship she had with her parents and them making her eat certain foods, but to me the storyline that she's pushing right now is so dumb.
I just find her totally boring, like with no personality.
Same. And then I saw this week's episode and I was like, now I'm over her trying to be interesting by making a thing that is not a thing.
Yeah. She's no Jules when it comes to the food stuff.
Jules. Oh, Jules. The fork and the oh, God. I read about that in Not All Diamonds and Rosé. And she was like, it was so innocent. I was just trying to be funny.
She's still clinging to like that it was a joke.
And everyone else is like, no, that was like intense. So you find, so then do you find Winter House or Pump Rules more entertaining?
I find that a Vanderpump is more compelling because there's actual story going on. There's no story on Winter House.
I agree. I agree. And I mean, and I like Vanderpump because I hear I might be getting another little shout out in this week's episode. So I think everyone should watch this week's episode of Vanderpump. But no, I love Lala. I wish we would have, with Lala though, I wish we would have gotten more into her relationship with Randall. Like, I want to see the dynamics of their relationship because I think, who was it? Was it Tom Sandoval? One of them was saying that they don't know anything about, or maybe it was James Kennedy, that they don't know anything about their relationship, them as a friend group. And I feel like we don't really know anything about their relationship either.
See, that would be Jax and Stassi and Kristen. They're all really close with Randall.
Yeah.
Or at least Jax is. I don't really follow the others, to be honest.
Well, I mean, Jax is friends with Randall because Randall has his own private jet.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. I think Brittany would totally be cool just doing barefoot and pregnant in Kentucky and like,
yes,
out of the spotlight.
Yes.
Did you see the OC trailer?
I did. I did.
Did it make you want to watch this season of OC?
I mean, I'll watch the premiere for sure. I am a little bit familiar with Heather Dubrow because my long-term partner like loved her, and I definitely watched the trailer, and it really gave me like the bee is back energy. Like, has there been a campaign like this?
No, they didn't even do that for Bethany, though. I mean, they had a big campaign for Bethany, but they didn't have Bethany do her own walking in introduction pre-trailer. I was like, no housewife on any franchise has ever gotten this.
I loved how they had like the old taglines playing, walking through her like palatial estate, which I believe was not finished on the original run.
No.
So I know there's going to be a big disparity in money between her wealth and just the everyday money that the rest of the cast has. I found it really strange that Noella yelled at someone like, I'm bisexual too. Like, people don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, that was really weird. She said that to somebody's kid.
Yeah, to Heather's kid. Yeah, I think it was Heather. Yeah. And that's why Noella and Heather have like some beef. And
I wonder if Bronwyn is just like rolling over in her grave that like this Noella like got elevated. Like she came in through Bronwyn, right?
Yeah, it was Bronwyn's friend. Bronwyn recommended her, and then they replaced Bronwyn with her.
Yeah, so I'm curious to know like what Bronwyn is. She's probably trying to pitch her own show. Actually, I heard she moved to New York.
Did she?
I heard she moved to New York, already has a new girlfriend, and is like, they're trying.
I mean, she's had a new girlfriend every other couple of months, though.
I know. I heard that Bronwyn's trying to get something going, but I heard she's in New York now. I'll let you know if I see her.
Yeah, I mean,
what else?
Emily Simpson said that the trailer didn't even show the most dramatic moments of what was filmed this past season. So maybe it'll be better than. I mean, I don't think the trailer was bad, though, to be honest. Like, I thought it was a solid.
No.
It was a solid trailer. It looks compelling. I'm mostly interested in seeing the return of Heather Dubrow.
Yeah, I will for sure watch the premiere.
But you never watched OC, right?
Listen, I say I've never watched it, but of course I've like seen it here and there.
Yeah,
like I remember seeing the Ireland trip. I've seen the Vicky Brooks cancer thing. There are things I've seen.
Yeah,
and
same.
Also, if nothing else, when I was at BravoCon, I did go to the OC panel because my partner is a huge OC fan, and so that I did that for her, and I went to that. And I will say, it was at that OC panel where I was like, "Holy shit! I get why Vicky is a superstar." Like, she was amazing during that, and she was also in another panel, like an OG panel, and I was like. And she was about to get fired. So like, I think, or maybe she already knew she was fired. So she was.
Well, that's where she said, like
everything.
Yeah. She was like, I won't come back if they offer me a friend role. I'll only come back in a full-time capacity. And I think that's what nailed her fate.
That's also why I'm very excited for the second All Stars, is because I'll get to see Vicky without having to be subjected to these other sort of archetypes of women that I'm really just not. They're just not for me. Like, historically, these OC people that they cast, but Vicky as a person I'm into, and Tamra as well.
Yeah, I'm excited for Brandi Glanville and Taylor Armstrong. Ugh.
See, Brandi makes me very nervous. Brandi makes me uneasy. So I don't like watching her in the way that I didn't like Kelly Dodd. They're both like unwell people, I think. Who is Taylor Armstrong? She's in
I love Taylor. I think I like her now that she's not.
I cannot believe they cast her on like such a straight casting choice.
Her and Eva, I think, were the most random additions to that cast. Yeah. Like, where did Eva's name even come up?
Where did Taylor's name even come up? It's just so straight. Like, Taylor was never on social media.
Yeah.
Like,
she's not on social media.
Who?
I said she is not on social media. Like, you look at her Instagram and there's nothing there. It hasn't been touched in years. but it's verified. Yeah, I think it is very interesting to see that. Like Jill Zarin, and who else is there from New York? Is it just Jill?
I think just Jill.
Yeah. And then we have, but like, I don't know. I would expect them to have like the Tamara, Vicky, like, you know, close relationship where Brandy and Taylor were just like they never got along. That's a random pairing to bring back onto the show.
Yeah.
But
hello.
How did we forget Dorinda? That's the other person from New York, the headliner.
I thought you meant outside of Dorinda. Oh, wait, you want to know something funny? Okay, so my best friend lives in Vegas, and yesterday Dorinda did an appearance in the town where he lives, right outside of Vegas, and he texted me that he said this is the most. He goes, every Henderson, that's the little town. He goes, every Henderson gay is at this thing. He goes, this is the most amount of gay people I've seen in Henderson in one place. Wasn't a club.
Wow. I can't.
Anyway.
Oh, well, thank you, Jess, for coming and chatting with me today. Spilling the tea, getting me to open up about my life, my career endeavors pre podcasting.
I do have another question for you, but since we're at the end, I'll save it for the next time.
No, ask it. You can't say, you can't be that bitch just like, I have a question, but I'm not gonna. That's very housewife of you to be like, I have a question, but I'm gonna save it until next season, guaranteeing your spot for the next season.
Yeah. I'm gonna save it for next season. Okay, so I know that you've been up for reality and you filmed reality shows in the past.
Yeah.
I want to know, did you throw your hat in the ring for Finding Prince Charming?
No.
Why not?
Well, I didn't. Oh, that's a really good question. I don't think I would do a dating show unless I were the suitor. That's one.
You did a dating show.
Well, it was a different kind of dating show. It was like we filmed our date. It wasn't a competition. It was a dating show, but it wasn't a competition show. I would do a competition show. I don't think I would do a dating competition show. Well, fuck it. Actually, if somebody came to me and was like, if the opportunity came to it, I'm like Lisa Rinna. I'll promote a diaper. Which, by the way, we have to make Bethany's diapers happen. The skinny girl diapers.
We do. That's the rumor that we're going to start.
That's the rumor we're going to start, guys. There's a rumor. Jess knows somebody in what, manufacturing? Who do you know?
I know somebody in marketing at Depends, and they were part of the licensing deal.
Yeah, because they saw the success that Lisa Rinna had, so they want somebody with the lifestyle brand like Bethany to promote that. Mm-hmm. Just going to manifest that into the universe. That'll be a headline on Heavy tomorrow. What was I saying about... Oh, dating show. Yeah, I would do it. I would probably do. I've never actively sought out a dating competition show, but you
would have been great on Finding Prince Charming.
I don't remember watching it week by, or maybe I did. I think I saw the first couple of episodes, and then I would just watch the recaps afterwards. Why do you think I would be so great? Do you think I would win?
Because you would have created drama.
Oh yeah,
like you would have.
I would have totally created that's what makes me such a great reality. That's why I keep getting cast on reality shows. I just don't end up staying on them for very long.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything was out. I've revealed my naked body and my penis on these dating shows. Like I've given it all, Jess. You know I will. Vanderpump producers, if you're listening to this, offer me a contract for next season. Where can people listen to your podcast, Jess?
Yes, it's called.
Do you have a Patreon? Do you have merch? Pimp yourself out.
I don't.
I know you don't.
I don't. I just have the podcast. So you can find it anywhere. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's JessXNYC. I'd love to say hi to you. DM me.
What is your favorite Bravo book?
If you're cute, slide into my DMs.
Please do. I said, what is your favorite Bravo book? Life on the Roller Coaster?
About Bravo, or like a
book,
Bethany book?
Book from the Bravo universe. It can be either by the cast members. It can be a Housewives or Not All Diamonds and Rosé.
Okay.
I feel like you always have good recommendations, and I feel like if there's any book anybody should read, you would know.
I love A Place of Yes by Bethany Frankel.
Yes, that one, top tier.
I love that, and I genuinely loved Pretty Mess.
Yes.
By our very own.
I think those are my two favorites too.
Really?
When you say them, well, yeah, because I'm trying to think. I liked Lala's book. Lala's book was pretty good. I wouldn't say it was like the best because there's not the most that you could take away from it. I think with A Place of Yes, there's a lot of practical tips and advice you could take away from. And then with Pretty Mess, I just found it wildly captivating and entertaining. Especially now. But like Stassi's book,
Yeah.
I like, you know, a lot of the other Bravo books. Did you read Life on the Ramona Coaster?
No.
No interest.
No. Yeah. No interest. I didn't read. I read most of them I haven't read. I read Dorinda's because we both interviewed her.
Yes.
So I read that.
That was good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I've read almost all of Bethany's books. I met her for the I Suck at Relationships So You Don't Have To.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where'd you meet? Like a signing?
Yeah, at Barnes & Noble.
Oh.
I met her and I read
Love
that
it.
book. That was a good one too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she had Dr. Amador like contribute.
Yeah, he did my show a couple of times that year too. The Housewives are not all diamonds and rose.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna get
That's really hard.
I know. You have to pick one.
I guess not all diamonds and rosé.
Why?
Are people still listening to this?
They are now.
Did they tune out 20 minutes ago? Why? Because the truth is there was more juice in it. There was more juice in it.
Are you going to read Bethany's new book? How to Be Better in Business?
Yeah, I'll read it. I'll listen to the audiobook.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, everybody needs to go in and check out Hot Takes and Deep Dives. Jess has a great podcast. You release once a week, right? Or twice a week?
Mm-hmm. Once a week. Mm-hmm.
Once a week, just like the standard podcast OG she is. She does once a week and she releases very killer episodes. So go and listen. And it's edited. You do a great job at editing your podcast so that it's like, you know, like my episodes are just what they are. So people have to go through all the rambles and the ums. But yours is really concise and good and clear.
To go through the ums. That's a great tagline for your podcast. No filter with Zack Peter. You're going to have to go through all the ums.
Every and there's an thank you guys for listening to Hashtag No Filter with Zack Peter. Please go support Jess. Give her a follow on the Instagram. JessXNYC and Hot Dives Pod. What's your Instagram handle?
The Instagram is just Hot Takes Deep Dives.
Oh, Hot Takes Deep Dives. There you go. Thank you guys for listening and supporting me. Go support Jess. And yeah, stay tuned. There's lots more tea to be spilled. Get ready for book club this Tuesday. We'll continue reading Not All Diamonds and Rosé, which Jess has now said is the ultimate Bravo book. She said The Housewives by Brian Moylan was total trash. You heard it here first. That'll be the headline.
No. I did not. No, that is no. We love Brian.
We love Brian. That was me. No, we love Brian. We love the book. We both interviewed Brian. You had a great interview with him too. He's great. Thank you guys. We'll be breaking down Not All Diamonds and Rosé. Give me a follow at Just Plain Zack. I have my brow tutorial happening this Wednesday. Going live again on Thursday. Spilling some real hot, fresh tea. So get ready. And yeah, I think Jess and I are probably going to talk more shit off air. There's always tea to be spilled. Love you guys. Mean it. Talk to you later. Oh, and don't forget to get Housewives Watch and Wine at nofilterwine.com. All right. Love you. Mean it. Ciao for now. Bye.